it. Now, let's turn our attentions to the country's criminal courts and plans to clear a backlog of cases waiting to be heard, caused in part by COVID. Latest figures show around 1,000 trials are still waiting to start in the High Court. That's almost 3 times the number from before the pandemic. The issue was highlighted in a report by Audit Scotland. So what's it like inside our struggling court system, and can anything be done about it? Tommy Ross KC is a defence advocate in some of the country's most high-profile criminal cases. Mr Ross, thank you for joining us. March was the original deadline for this backlog to be cleared, but there's still, 1,000 cases to be heard. How does this affect your work?
Hi, Laura. Well, I mean, in short, it means that you're probably waiting in excess of a year between the first calling of the case in the High Court and the trial date, which really means, possibly 3 years between the commission of the offence and the trial. So that's the reality of the situation on the ground.
What does that actually mean in terms of the people you're defending and the victims as well in the crimes they're accused of?
Well, some of them are in custody, so that potentially if they were acquitted by the jury at the end of the trial, then they would have served 2 years or possibly 3 years in custody for a crime that they didn't commit. Obviously, the victims are waiting for a trial from the moment they make the allegation to the police until the jury return the verdict. So the circumstances at the moment dictate that can be a period of around 2 or 3 years. And it's understandable why people think that that's undesirable. The question is, what can we do about it in quite a small jurisdiction like Scotland?
Well, what would speed it up?
Well, if we started converting buildings into courts, then, we could free up some court space. I think probably the Scottish courts should be congratulated for making the maximum use of the courts that they have at the moment, because when I started in the High Court, the permanent courts were really Glasgow, Edinburgh and Aberdeen, which allowed them to do maybe 8 or 9 trials a day. But now they use Stirling and Dundee and Kilmarnock and, Paisley and other towns, and Inverness in particular is almost a permanent High Court now. So that's got it up to around about 20 trials a day, So using the court facilities which are available, they're doing twice as many trials as they were. So actually, the only way they can really increase capacity is by turning things which are not courts into courts. And that has staffing implications, because every time you create a new court, you need a new judge, you need a new clerk of court, support staff, procurator fiscal, advocate depute, defence counsel. So it's really a budgetary thing. The Scottish Government needs to throw some money at it. If they don't, then the backlog will just be the same as it is at the moment.
Tommy Ross, thank you for being with us this evening. Tommy Ross KC, who is a defence advocate. And we have a statement from the Justice Secretary, Neil Gray. He says Audit Scotland's follow-up report recognises the significant progress made, but added there was more work to be done to strengthen delivery, transparency and reporting. The time now 4 minutes to 6, and one of producer Greg's favourite musician has just unveiled a dramatic new